You're listening to the Young Talk podcast by First Church Young Adults.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Young Talk. We are so glad to be here today, and we have Josh, our next gen pastor. We have Micah, and we have Leslie. Leslie has never been on the podcast, so
first time.
Yes, we are so excited to have her today. Sharan and Josh just had a baby. Woo! So that's where Sharan is.
Yes.
But
so if I look extra tired today,
oh God.
which by the way, right before recording, Paris walks in and she's like, "Josh, what time did you go to sleep?" And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "'Cause you look horrible." So I mean, if I look horrible, it's because I have a baby.
Yeah. Well, I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings if I hurt your feelings.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, moving on while Josh is a little butthurt right now. Anyways, in today's episode, I want to talk about milestones in young adulthood. So last week, I just turned 18 and I graduated high school. So I'm like in this new season of life, and I want to talk about it. Josh, how old are you?
25.
25, Micah?
21.
And Leslie?
24.
Okay, so they're a little older than I am. Like I said, I'm 18. So I just want to talk about all things in young adults. But first, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment before we get into it.
Yeah.
All right? You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do some icebreaker questions first. I'm really curious. All right. What is y'all's biggest fears in life?
Oh, are we going like serious deep, or are we going
Do both.
or whatever? Okay.
Do one like, oh, that's stupid, or not
Okay.
stupid, but
Okay. One of my biggest fears which is weird. It's super weird, is slow heights. So, for example, I could do roller coasters. I could do the worst roller coaster in the world. I could do whatever, like as long as I'm moving and like going, and like I would do anything at all, anything. I've never bungee jumped, but I could see myself doing it. What I can't do though is slow, like looking down a rail.
drop zones. How did you? Yeah, like we're slowly
Slow Ferris wheels, they freak me out. And then the thing at the rodeo that is kind of like the ski lift that takes you around like that, the whole thing. Man, I tried it last year and I was literally like, because there's no seatbelt. You're just like literally going this slow, like super high. And so that's one of my like dumb fears, that is like, how am I not afraid of a roller coaster, but I'm afraid of like just like really slowly
things.
going. I think maybe it's my mind. I'm like,
It builds up that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about more serious?
Okay, more serious. It's a more recent one, but like I don't know. I think my biggest fear is not being a good dad.
Yeah.
Is looking back, I don't know, in the future, and I don't know, regretting. Like I read a study that people in their deathbed don't regret what they did, but they'll regret what they didn't do. So in my life, I'm trying to be extra intentional about like being extra, like not for being extra, but like living a life that is like, okay, I don't want to regret what I didn't do.
Right.
So especially with my daughter. So that like all coming back to that is like my biggest fear right now is like, I don't know, in 20 years looking back and she hates me.
Oh.
Which I don't think she will.
No.
Like, but it's just something that
Yeah.
that is a real fear.
Well, mine's really similar to yours. For like my dumb fear is ski lifts. I had a really bad skiing accident when I was 12. And so I completely shattered my whole elbow. So every time I get up on a ski lift, I love skiing. I've done it my whole life. But every time you go up, I'm like, oh my God, what if this run coming down the mountain is the one I wreck again? And anyway,
Yeah.
so that's mine.
So you broke a bone?
Oh yeah, I completely shattered my elbow.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a good time. I
You know-
kind of cracked my helmet.
Oh.
My whole arm like went back.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't bleeding. But
Oh
I hit
my.
it, basically, it was too icy. There was like a shed. I was going around like this shed, and there was a hole that they had dug around it that I didn't see. And so I fell in the hole, and I like completely shattered everything on the shed, and then my helmet split. And I didn't know my arm was broke till like an hour later. Because I'm wearing all these jackets and stuff, you don't know. And then I was like, my arm really hurts. Yeah. So anyways, but then my more serious fear is getting to Judgment Day and God being like, you didn't do enough.
Oh,
That's
that's
like-
a serious one, man.
God.
Man, you went there.
No, like it actually
That-
terrifies me.
Like, yeah, like that verse that says, like, but, like, we casted out demons in your name. We prophesied. We had vision, did everything. And he's like,
that one thing he wanted you to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said, I never knew you. Oh, my gosh.
I never knew. Ooh, that gets me.
Yeah, that's
Hey, we are taking a break from this podcast episode to thank you so much for tuning in. If you're enjoying this content and if this is something that you would like to support, you can now give via the link in our description. Your contribution is so significant to us, and it helps us to continue to produce this content every single week. Our hope is to share this message of love, truth, and hope with as many young people as we possibly can. And you, with as little as $3 a month, can help us make that a reality. You can now be investing in our ministry. So, if you'd like to partner with us, hit the link in our description and we will make sure to give you a shout out in a future episode. All right, so let's get back to the content.
I would say my biggest fear is when driving down like a two-way and like a car will accidentally like swerve over.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'll, like,
Especially at night.
yeah, like
probably.
a head-on collision. Oh, night's the worst because I take this back street to go to my dad's house, and it's pitch black, no street lights, no nothing.
Yeah.
So you just see headlights.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Especially
like a deer
if-
runs out.
Yeah, well, kind of that too.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did hit like a dead animal one time, and I kind of like I was like, man,
That
let me
messes
see
up your car.
He said it was
Yeah,
slow.
I was more worried about my car,
Yeah.
but just like it's just straight black, and I have like all my what is it called, the brights on. I have my brights on. I'm just driving, and it's just pitch black. I mean, that kind of doesn't bother me, like driving alone and like that. But anything that jumps out like an animal or another car coming, it's just me and them, and they're like, man, at any point they could be. Because I had an experience of driving behind a drunk driver behind the street like that, and they were like swerving. It was just like,
No, thank you.
bro. So just like stories of that happening or things like that. That's one of my fears. But my biggest one would probably be also what Paris said about Judgment Day. I know obviously that's a big fear, but
I think that
besides
goes for all of us.
Yeah.
besides that,
All right, I get it. That was lame.
cliche. No, I'm saying. I would say just not doing everything that I told myself that I would accomplish when I was younger. More so for my family and for myself. You know, not and nobody, like, no hate or judgment on nobody that, you know, works a 9 to 5 or does things like that. Like, that's great. But for me, like, I see myself like doing, like, have businesses and, you know, being successful in that way. And because most people that fall into that, they tell me, like, you know, most people, they don't like their job, or they're like, if I had a dream, if my dream job would be to do this, but they got so caught up in the money or the check or the
the security,
the
safety,
the safety, and that's the
yeah.
biggest thing why people go into those jobs, because of safety, you know. And obviously, like, I'll have to start out in that, but eventually, you know, I want to kind of branch off and do what I love to do, so it won't feel like you know, work. But
so failure, you would say failure is
kind of failure, pretty much.
Okay, my biggest fear right now is flat tires, because hold on, I've gone stuck on the freeway twice.
No,
like on the edge of the freeway. One of them was like 8 a.m. I had a field trip that day, and I didn't make it to school because I was on the side of the freeway. That was bad. And then for the Christmas party,
yes, I remember that.
Some car, like, his bumper fell off and it hit my tires.
No.
And like the whole tire, I was just stuck on the freeway
It's
for
like
like
a
an
burnout?
hour.
Like it
yeah,
popped,
it
like,
was gone.
instantly? Oh,
So I just got like 4 new tires, and then this weekend I got a nail in my tire. So I was freaking out. I was like, I'm not gonna make it home.
See, you have problems with tires. I have problems with windshields. My windshield keeps getting rocks in it.
Oh gosh,
And it
no,
cracks.
mine's tires.
Every time.
It's scary. Like, I don't want to end up on the side of the
I just got
freeway
new tires
again.
too. That stuff is not.
Yeah. Shout out to my neighbors. They
not.
cracked our windshield
From
with their
what?
ball.
No shade.
Ball?
Yeah, they're little, they're younger
yeah.
kids,
Oh.
so it's like, what do you? I didn't say anything.
And then my biggest fear is not doing something because I'm thinking about myself. Like, I don't want to be embarrassed, so I won't do something that I know is right to
that's
do.
good.
It's like, I don't want to be stopped by embarrassment or fear of failure. Like, failure should just mean that I tried. So that's my thing. Like, if I knew I should have done something for someone or done something that, like, was correct, but I was afraid of, like, stepping out or being embarrassed, I get on myself so much for that. It's like, just do it. Like, who cares?
I got you.
That.
Okay, well, kind of transitioning into adult things. what right now is at the top of y'all's bucket list? Have you marked it off? Have you not marked it off? I'm upset because I always said my whole life, the top of my bucket list is on my 18th birthday. I'm going to jump out of a plane on Galveston skydiving. Well, I didn't do it. No. And I was like a fool because I told someone I was, and they texted me on my birthday, did you do it?
Oh,
no, I didn't.
Paris.
Yeah.
Was it lack of opportunity, or are you scared?
Oh, I'm not scared.
I didn't get the chance.
to.
You didn't plan it out.
No.
And
yeah.
But that's different. I mean, you still. It'd be different if you're like, never mind, I can't do it.
Yeah. But my whole life, on my 18th birthday, I'm jumping out of a plane. No.
You know what? That is one of my bucket lists too. I would love to jump out of a plane.
Yeah.
Not me.
Not you.
It's not on my bucket list.
You know, it's more like, statistically speaking, you're more likely to die on your way to work driving than skydiving.
But why would you test God like that? Like,
why do you?
If it's your time, it's your time.
That's true. If it's your time, like you can choke on water.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I've tried to imagine myself doing that. Like when I went on the planes, like flights and stuff. I'll kind of look out the window and I'm like, could I do it? Like, could I? Like, if the door opened and had a parachute, could I jump out? And I'm just like, ooh. Like, it doesn't look as bad like with clouds and stuff, but. I don't know.
There was a preacher's son in Colorado who died skydiving. He was turning 18 the next day. The company was like, we'll let you jump. Like, you're turning 18 tomorrow, we'll let it slide. He did it. The parachute ejected wrong, snapped his neck and killed him. And his parents literally watched him. Yes. It's someone I knew.
What?
Yes.
How long ago was it?
This was like 5 years ago. I forgot. Oh, man.
And y'all still want to do it?
It doesn't matter the name, but
yeah, I still want to do it.
Yes.
There was one in Houston. The parachute didn't. Well, the parachute ejected, but it didn't unfold.
Here in Houston?
Yeah, like a couple months ago, and they pulled the second one, and the second one got caught in the first one. So it was just they fell till they died.
It was just their time.
Yeah, they died. Well, it was like an instructor and a person. So the person I think they landed on it, so that the person died. That was on the
bottom.
Yeah, but the one that landed on the top, they broke a lot of bones, but they eventually died when they got to the hospital.
Oh, internal bleeding. I was gonna say, how could you survive that?
So,
interesting.
But when the parachute, it kind of like helped their fall, like not be as bad.
Yeah.
Because it was still kind of open, but it wasn't properly. So I can't do it.
Yeah.
Leslie, what's at the top of your bucket list?
Top of my bucket list. I wanted to do more traveling this year, which has been like. So far, it's been good.
Yeah,
I've
been
like,
I know.
My gosh, Lizzie.
So I'm excited. I have like maybe 2 more for this year, and then I'm done.
Yay.
But that's really fun. Like just like going out and figuring out as I go. Like I haven't really been doing itineraries.
Right.
Well, kind of. I've still been doing itineraries, but not as like detailed. So it's been kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was like spontaneous.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Are you intentionally not doing itineraries? Because I know you would like a schedule and a program.
Yeah.
But are you being intentional?
Yes, kind of. We'll have like an idea, like with the Boston and New York one, we had an idea of what we wanted to do. But then what was cool is at New York, we had been multiple times already, so we got to do a lot more like local things.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. And then the one I went to Colombia in January, and that was not on my bucket list. That's kind of like just like an invite, and I was like, okay, like I'll go.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bucket list, man. I don't know. I think at the top of my bucket list right now is I think same as Leslie. I want to go out. I want to camp more. Like every year I say I'm going to camp more, and like camping, and like I want to go to like national park, like Yosemite National Park, and like Glacier National Park, and like Yellowstone, and like all that stuff. But it's like time and
you're a camping kind of guy.
I love camping. I love camping, but I don't do it nearly as much as I would love to.
Does Sharon like it too?
Yeah, she does. She does. She enjoys it.
So y'all more into like country stuff rather than like city.
Yeah, I think we can do both. I think I'm personally more into. I grew up in the city, so now I'm like exploring more camping, and she grew up more like rural country, not super country, but she loves more city stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Makes sense.
Okay, so let's get into all things adult, okay? So, as a young adult, I'm curious, what has been y'all's most expensive, or I guess big purchase as a young adult? Have you had to, well, I know Josh.
A baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that is
valid.
Valid.
I seen this, I don't know if it was true or not, but it was like a statistic or something that on average, like you spend like $1 million or more like on each kid that you have before they turn 18.
Think about it.
Wow. I believe
Get ready, Josh.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is.
He already took on like a shopping spree at like H&M or something. I was like, what the?
She's about to be growing out some clothes in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's just things are so cute.
And it's cheap, but it adds up.
Oh, it is. It's like $30 shoes.
Yeah,
That's fine.
And then she grows out of them in 2 months.
2 days.
Yeah.
What you mean? But no. So biggest purchase?
I would say it wasn't recently. It was like a couple years ago. But I was like early adult. I think I was 18, 17. But it was more like I had like this mowing business that I would do on the side.
Right. I remember you doing that.
During high school, and I made a purchase. Like I racked up a lot of cash, and I bought a riding lawnmower, like a commercial.
Zero turn.
Yeah, that stuff was nice.
My dad loves it.
But it was like $4,000.
Jeez, Mike.
It was so, and like in my head, I'm like, man, if I can just get this purchase, like my time would be so much faster on lawns, and I'll be able to get more lawns. I can make more money. So in my head, I'm like, it's an investment. To like the business or the side hustle that I had, because like it saves me time. I'm able to get bigger lawns, so I'm not always push mowing, and then also less work.
Physical work.
Yeah, like most.
Did you not?
I got it.
I know, but did it?
I mean, I got it, and it was definitely worth my money.
Oh, okay.
I got my money's worth out of it, but when I transitioned to college and stuff, it was just kind of like, you know, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, so I need to start like trying to find jobs that kind of help my career.
So Brad was like,
yeah. No, at first they were like, I mean, I sold it now.
Oh, you sold it
like last year. No, I sold it. So I got my money back from it, but it was just like an impulse thing. I didn't want to tell anybody because like I knew they were like, where'd you get all this money from? And like, you're dumb. Like, this is a bad decision. So when I was leaving, and I remember I was pulling out with the trailer, and Brad's like, where you going? I was like, I'm about to go buy this lawnmower. He was like, what? And he was like, I told him what it was. Like, man, I gotta go. And then he's like, he's looking it up, trying to call me, like, let me get something better. Like, but I just did it, and that was probably like that lawnmower lasted me good. Like, it did me good. So I would say that was kind of like a big purchase that I made.
Yeah. Leslie?
My college education.
No, no, for real. That's valid.
Besides that, I think I purchased my car. Like, I paid that off quick. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And besides that, I guess the trips that I'm taking, just like actually like booking different trips and going on tours, like that adds up really quick.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of like a fun purchase.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually, y'all, I'm about to buy this camera. It's like
which
a couple
you should. Which you should.
I am. I already have an engagement shoot planned. So I'm like,
there you go.
Yes, I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all. It's like.
Engagement shoot without the camera?
No. I'll have I should have the camera by then. If not, I still have
the camera. So you booked the session without buying the camera yet?
No, I already have a camera.
Oh,
like I already. It's like a good camera.
Yeah.
It's a good camera. Anyway, so I'm about to make that purchase, and I'm just like, you know, so
yeah. It could be a good investment.
Exciting.
You know, especially if you run a business out of it or something.
Yeah.
I'm actually probably gonna order it tonight. That's why I'm like,
there it is.
I know.
That's so exciting. That's so exciting because those are some of my favorite purchases. Is like I'm into I love like tech. I'm not super techie, but like I feel like my biggest investment or the money I spent the most has been on like my laptop, my iPad, like I'm like Apple everything. So like I think and it's just like it's reliable. I love it. And like my camera too as well. Like so which adds up.
The AirTags, that's probably your biggest one. AirTags.
Yes, I have AirTags
you need those.
on everything. I do. I got one on my keys, wallet.
It's reminding me of a story. 2 years ago, I went skiing in Denver. Y'all, I left my backpack in the airport. It had my purse. It was LV, so I mean it was a pretty expensive purse. Then I had my my laptop, my wallet with all my credit cards. I had my AirPods. I had my Beats.
Did you find
it? That's your whole life.
Did you?
Yes, that thing was worth like $6,000 in this backpack. And after 2 hours of sobbing my eyes out and praying the hardest I've ever prayed in my life, it came around on a shuttle bus because I left in the shuttle bus, right? So every shuttle bus that would come around, I would have to get in and look for it, y'all. It was a headache.
So nobody took it? It was just sitting
there?
Ooh.
Okay, but here's the deal. They always say don't touch the black backpack in the airport, and so thank God no one touched the black backpack in the airport.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you said that. I was like, I'm gonna pick that up.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. That's
so, anyways, that just reminded me of.
Yeah.
I almost.
But yeah. But yeah, those are my biggest expenses. And also, it's like, I see it as an investment to my time, and investment to what I do on the side, and investment to like it's a return.
In your ministry.
Yeah, and especially my ministry.
Being organized and stuff like that. Like with
So, and trying to be productive and stuff like that. So those are my biggest purchases, and I think my wife would agree.
Would agree. He said, "I'm still paying them off." Oh my gosh. Okay, so what's something that you guys have accomplished that your younger self would be, your younger maybe adult self, or maybe just your younger self in general would be proud of? I guess you said one earlier, paying off your car. That was good.
There's
a lot of people who still have car notes.
Quick. Yeah.
Yes.
Not having any debt. That's really good.
Yes, that's amazing.
That's a big one. Not having debt.
Yeah.
Yes. That is a big one, especially with vehicles. Like I'm the same way. We have a vehicle now. I've always purchased my vehicles cash from when I was younger. Right now we have 2 vehicles, but my vehicle is a cash paid, and my wife's we have a car note on it. But I'm making a thing to where if we have one as a family, as a household, it's just one, not 2. So I think that's something. And it's like people, I don't know, I don't know, especially with vehicles, it's like everybody's so different with it, because it's like you want something reliable, you want something that's going to break down, but also it's like, everybody's different in their thoughts on that.
That's true. That's real true.
But so the question was like, what is
something that you're proud, that your younger self would be proud of, that you've accomplished now? Or to back up, what's something that you wish you would have accomplished as a young adult? That like now you're like, man, when I was 18, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Oh, I already have one that I know. My dad keeps telling me, start a Roth IRA. IRA.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So
and
I have one. So
okay.
I started one.
Okay.
I started one when I moved out of my house. I read a couple finance books, and I started a Roth IRA with Vanguard, and I just put so that's my retirement. Especially being in ministry, it's like it's not a thing where it's like your retirement is secure.
Yeah.
But so what I started doing is I invest in a Roth IRA, and then my money goes into the S&P 500 index fund. So that's the stock market that has the 500 top companies in the U.S. in the United States. So then what that does, it's super low maintenance, and it's like it's just like you pump money in there, and then historically since it started, it has a 10% increase over every year. So then it's like it's really it's not financial advice, but it's almost the best thing long term that you can do, because compound interest and all that stuff. So I think that's what I would say my younger self would be proud of me is doing that.
Yeah. We're talking. Speaking of that, me and my family were talking about like 401ks yesterday.
My dad said I refuse to look at mine now.
Like I was just like, it just when we're like, because I know what it is, but I didn't really know detail stuff. Yeah. And then they're telling me like, some people that I know, like they've lost over 300,000, and they're just like, that's a risk that you take, like and there's like some people, like if this is kind of like if you're with whoever you work for, like if they match it like what you make, then you just but if you put more than what they're offering, they might offer like 6% or like a certain amount, then I mean they're just saying like you just take that risk, like it's free money, but if the stocks go up or down, like you could lose, you could gain, and this is something they were telling me like when I get one, when I started, that they recommended like just don't look at it. Just don't look at it. They're like, this is the worst thing, because if you're like if you're constantly checking it and it's going, like you're just gonna be like, it's just you just have to take that risk. So I'm just like, man. Ooh.
Well, right now, if you start a Roth IRA, and if you put in at least $800 a year total, you'll have $1.6 million by the time you're 30.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, the calculator that they have on there, So like, show you
minimum, like that's guaranteed. Yeah. So it's like.
So have you started one? Just.
Because I don't have like a set job yet. So when I get like a steady income, then I will, after tithes and obviously all that, then of course I'll start one. But I'm like, time's ticking, girl. You're already a week into being 18. Come on now.
That is good. The sooner you start.
What year or what age did you start it at?
I started when I moved out, so I would have been.
Oh wow.
21 or 22.
Okay.
So which. Like, if you can start at 18.
Like, are you seeing any benefits or growth from it so far?
Yeah. It's long term. So right now you don't see, like, it starts compounding. Yeah. But it's been good. So But no, yeah, at 18, like that is, you'd be light years ahead from even starting 18 to me starting at 22.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like those few years make a huge difference. So like that's why like young people need to start like today. So, but yeah. Anyway, we're going into like
no, it's good because a lot of people don't know this.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Leslie, do you have anything that you wish you would have started in your young adult age?
Something that I wish I would have started.
Or like maybe a habit you wish you would have done or anything?
The habit I cannot get down is waking up, like having a morning routine. I cannot, like I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like I've tried, I've done it for like 2-3 months, the 5 a.m. and like reading the Bible and having quiet time. And then by like the 3rd, 4th week, I think the longest I've done it is 2 months. And after that, I'm like, oh, I hate it. I'm tired of this.
That's really good,
but
though.
it's so hard. It is so hard to have a morning routine. Like sometimes,
is
like,
it because you don't
whatever.
get enough sleep, or you just not a
I
morning
sleep
person?
great.
Oh.
No, I'm really good about my sleeping schedule. I don't know. It's just like I can't. Like I'll wake up. Like I'll wake up at 6. I'll wake up at 5 and be like in my bed. I should get up. Nah, I'll just roll over and go back to bed. So I haven't been able. I haven't been able to stick to it.
Yeah.
Well, growing up, I always would feel so convicted because I remember a lot of pastors would always be like, if you don't read your Bible in the morning, doing it at night is not good. Like, you need to start in the morning. But genuinely, I don't comprehend things in the morning like that. So I'll find myself just reading something over and over and not understanding.
And just spacing out.
So, like, I substitute that for, I'll listen to worship music because I truly believe starting your day off with Jesus somehow is better than just waiting until the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
So I substitute that for worship, and then at the end of the day, then I'll sit down before I go to bed and read my Bible.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember when I would start trying to do that. I was this is where I messed up because I would try to read first before I prayed, like getting into the word, this and that. But I remember like some mornings I'd wake up and I'm trying to read and I literally just fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, this is not it. So I would like ask people in ministers and they're like, man, what you need to do is wake up, you know, listen to worship music or start praying, because when you start to pray, that wakes you up.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you pray, you know, pray with God, have a conversation, like, then that wakes you up, and then it gets you in the right headspace to be able to, like, read the word and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
So switching those two is definitely helped a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with morning routines too, because I try them and it's like, it's hard. It's hard for me, like to keep to a specific schedule.
Yeah.
Like I can do the actual routine, but I think it becomes more effective when it's consistent time. Like I'll do like the four things, and my goal is to do them at the same time every day. But then it's like my schedule changes, like I don't sleep well or whatever, or I wake up too early or too late or whatever. Then that hit that goal, and it just, I don't know, that just throws me off. But but I love it and I hate it at the same time, because I love it because it's like, it's so consistent. You start your day off well and stuff like that. But then I hate it because it's like it's boring. But then I heard Craig Rochelle, he's a big leadership guy. He's like, your life needs to be a boring life. He says the greatest compliment he's ever had is like people telling him your life is so boring, because he says like that, you know, successful people do consistently what, you know, the average person does, you know, like regularly or inconsistently. But anyway. But I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
morning
But
schedules
2 months is really good.
It was hard.
It
was so hard.
But did you see any like benefits from that, like as far as like having more time, or
just, it's like an attitude thing, because like I would wake up early, wake up at 5. I've started out either with music or a podcast. I can't do prayer or reading early because I'll fall asleep. Like I will fall asleep praying on my pillow. So like if I needed something to motivate me to get out of bed. So then another thing that I struggle with sometimes is if I don't understand why I have to be there at a certain time. Like if I have to clock in at work at 7:15, but there's nothing for me to do until 7:40, why am I showing up at 7:15? Like it doesn't make sense to me.
You're like, I want my 30 minutes
back.
back.
It's like, give me my 30 minutes. So I did notice that I was just calmer in the mornings, because if not, I'll wake up like 20 minutes before I have to leave the house. I plan at night. So I do get my bag ready at night, and in the morning, like, because I know I'm not a morning person, I'll have like my yogurt ready, like whatever I need to get done in the morning, I'll do it the night before. So that way I can just like rush out. But it was like I was just calmer. I would get to school and like have time to read. Like my day just felt slower, but the problem was that it felt longer. So by like 8 p.m., I was ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of want to talk about dating as a young adult. My parents never really wanted to seriously
What's his
date.
name?
No.
See, the thing is, Paris, you're like my little sister, so it's like
know.
I'm always asking her like,
Yeah.
okay, so like what's happening?
Josh always
She
gets
asks
the
a question, you know,
tea.
there's something behind it. Like, why are you asking this question?
Like, uh-oh.
Yep. I always, Josh, you'll never believe what he did. He's like, it's all the time. But I want to ask you guys, Josh is already married, okay? But us three are still we're in that dating world, right? So what are some traits that you looked for in Shran, and what are some traits that y'all are looking for right now in someone, in a partner?
Yeah. The given is loves Jesus. Like, does she love Jesus more than she would ever love me? Is she devoted to a community? By community, I mean church. Like that was number one for me. Non-negotiable, number one, Jesus and community. And then number two, practical is like, is she hardworking? Like that's just something personally that I looked for in someone is like, is she hard? Like, is there a direction? Where? Like, I'm not saying her life needs to be organized to the minute and like she needs to have a 20-year plan. No, but like, is there somewhere she's going? Is there somewhere she's directing to? Is she working towards that? And she was in school and getting her career and stuff like that. So that was so attractive to me. And other than the spiritual things, so those were the top things I would say for me. Other than physical attraction. I mean, I thought she was pretty.
Okay, so here's a question. People can come off as if they're spiritual. People can come off as if they love God, they have a relationship. But what are some things that you're like, that tells me that she's genuine with her relationship with God? Is there anything?
Yes. I would say serving. Serving, but not serving in a way to where it's like, it didn't matter if people knew what she did or not.
Yeah.
That's something I noticed is like she did so many things that like, if she wouldn't have told me, I would have known, and people around her didn't even know. Like that right there is because if you're serving and you're on the spotlight, you're on the platform, you have a microphone, the camera's on you, like, okay, I'm not devaluing that. I'm not devaluing that, and there's need for that, and that's part of my ministry is a very present ministry, very visual ministry, but there's so much that goes behind the scenes that if
all you're craving is
what did you craving? Yeah. So she was the opposite. She's almost like she doesn't want to be on the spotlight. She doesn't want to be on the platform. She doesn't, and she very well could, but it's not her. It's not what drives her. It's not what motivates her. So I think that's a big one. And then how she treats other people, how they treat other people is big, because Scripture says they'll know us not by our righteousness, not by the way we do things, but it's by our love. So kindness, like when in dating, like how do they treat the waitress? How do they treat the waiter?
That's what I was gonna say.
How do they treat their
That's
parents? How do they treat their pastor? How do they treat their teammate? Like, how are they treating other people?
How does a guy treat their mama?
Yes, yes, 100%.
Yeah. Leslie, Micah?
I would say, kind of to go off of what Josh said, being organized. Because for me, like, I feel like I'm real hardworking, and I could do whatever, you know. But for me, it's just hard for me to get started. But once I get started, I'm just like go mode. So someone that's organized, that's able to help me, like, you know, this is what you need to do at these times, or someone that kind of pushes me to do what I need to do. Like, I know that I'm willing to do it, but because since I know that I'm not organized, someone like
accountability.
Yeah, like a help me, accountability to like help me, you know, use my hardworking ethic to use. And also what Josh was saying, another one was like servanthood, or how they treat other people besides how they treat me, you know, because they can treat you or whoever like so nicely, but if you go to a restaurant or you go out somewhere else, like, how are they treating your friends? How are they treating the waitress? Are they rude to them? This and that. So like those things really matter, because especially when it comes to, like, you know, ministry, especially for Josh or anybody like in ministry, like having that like
compatibility.
Because not everyone's compatible.
Right.
Everyone could be saved, or you can be in church, you know, they could be saved, but if you're not compatible in that way, you know, then I feel like it's kind of like y'all not doing each other justice. You know, so someone that can help Josh, or someone that can help me, like, and my weaknesses and my, you know, flaws, to help building me up, you know, then and vice versa, like me, like helping them where they're weak or not as strong, you know, to where we can come together and like serve God ultimately. But yeah, basically kind of what Josh was saying, just especially loving God, physical attraction.
Yeah.
You know, those are like the obviously like the known things, because if you're not, I mean, this is just my thought, you know, people get hate, I get hate for it, but if you're not attracted to someone, like, then you're not, you know, gonna be interested in them. And I've gotten hate for that before, like,
no,
like, so
true.
if a girl like if a girl looks like this and this, you're not gonna go up to her like or be interested, because it's not all about looks. I'm like, well, for me, I wouldn't be interested in trying to get to know her if I wasn't attracted to her physically.
Right.
But I mean, that kind of sounds bad.
No,
I mean, I get hate for it, but it's even for girls, like, you know, and one of like my like, and I kind of get hate for this too, but this is don't bash me for this. But one of the expectations like that I would have like for my future wife is to like try to stay physically active, because a lot of times when couples get together, they're all fit and, you know, they look good, but they just, both parties just are one or the other, they just let themselves go. And I just think, like, you know, y'all are both attracted to each other before y'all got, so why are you being comfortable, like, of, you know, feeding your body and just getting big? Because like
once you married,
like, like that's just the thing, like all like that's happy weight, like nah. I mean, I understand y'all are happy together.
I'm not happy.
Like, I mean, I understand y'all happy together, but like,
I heard that before. Happy weight.
Yeah, they say it's called happy weight. Like, you see couples get together and they both gain weight. Oh, they're happy. Like they're, you know, they're doing good because they're always going out to eat. They're always having dates. But for me, it's like that's one of the expectations that I have, and it's just like, and I don't mind like the expectations they set for me, but like one of my goals is to like be as physically attractive and fit like as I can, not only for myself and my health, but for my future wife.
Right.
You know, I still want to be attracted to her. I don't want to get old and fat and have like, you know, so that's kind of like an expectation I would have, you know, like you don't have to be a gym rat and work out 5 days a week, you know, like I do. You don't have to be like me, but like showing something where there's like eating healthy or working out like 2 or 3 times. You know, just like about their health, you know, and just trying to stay fit for each other. Like it's not all about doing it for other people, but I would say someone that's like interested in like health wise, you know, stuff like that. So.
Leslie?
All right. So definitely what they were saying, loving God, loving others. I mean, I think like at the age that we're at, you have to have an idea of what you're doing with your career. Like you can't be still trying to figure it out. Like obviously you're going to grow and that's awesome. Like future goals are great. But if you're not financially responsible, that's a problem. Like that really is a problem. And besides that, I think confidence is huge for me. Like I need someone who is confident even when they're going to make a mistake. Like they take ownership for it, but having that confidence that isn't arrogance. I need you to be confident enough.
For sure.
You have to make me want to listen to what you have to say, because if you don't know where you're going, I don't want to follow. Like I don't want to be involved in that. So confidence is huge.
Yeah. That's good.
For sure.
That's really good. That I heard something, and it's towards men. It's like, I hope I don't butcher it. I may butcher it, but I heard something really interesting that it was like, men, like spiritually talking and like biblically speaking, you know, like the woman is a helper, and then it's like but it was a preacher talking about, we got these young guys like asking God, I need a helper, and then he was like, but where are you going? Help for what? What are you doing that requires help? Like what he was trying to say is like, you're not going anywhere. If you're not going anywhere, if you're not doing anything, you don't need help. It's not the right time to have even a relationship or a wife. So that spoke to me. It's like, man, that is true. Like somebody like you know, like you can't have a helper if there's nothing to help. Like if there's no direction, if there's no vision,
more like,
if there's
not
going
there's a difference between help and just an assistant. Like you want an assistant, you want someone to just like keep your schedule going. Like what do you really want?
Where is this going? Paris?
2.
All these young guys are gonna start taking out notes, notebooks, and
dear Lord,
we're gonna get a lot of listeners on this one.
No, dear gosh. Okay, 2. Besides what y'all said, I mean the obvious ones. 2 that are really, really big. First of all, slow to anger and very patient. Like, if they're not patient, if they get angry at stupid things, like even if it's like obviously I get like basketball games, like guys get heated, like, you know, whatever. But like if they can't let it go, like just little things like that. Very slow to anger, patient. And then my second one is they have to be able to clearly draw lines, like boundaries, whether that's what they believe, whether that's physically, that's like good. When you're in a relationship.
That's really good.
Like, hey, I love you, but we're not going to go past this. Or we're like, that is so attractive to me when a guy can just be like, listen, I'm not doing
Self-discipline,
that.
yeah.
Self-disipline. So yeah, those
really
are two good things. Those are two things.
So would you say you're slow to anger? And
see, that's where okay, here's the deal.
I would not say you're
I'm not
but you want someone that is, so you
right.
so like
so they can balance
it.
each other out.
But it's something I'm working on. So it's I don't want to be hypocritical, but I'm working like on being more patient. I tell myself that that's my word for the year. Kristen actually asked me, okay, now that you're 18, what's your word? I told her it's focus and patience. Yeah. Those are two main things because I'm such like a type A personality. Yeah. I'm going to get stuff done. If it's not done, I'm going to lose my mind basically. Yeah. So, yeah, that's something I'm working on for sure. Yeah. So, anyways, those are two things.
I would not have thought of self-discipline. Yeah. But it's so important. It's something like I would think about it, but I didn't think about it.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
You thought about it. No, I'm kidding. That was really good.
Okay, how do you feel about people? Okay, Josh is a little biased on this one, but how do you feel about getting married before you're like 25, 24?
I think it depends on the person. Because I couldn't have done that. Like, just my personality and like everything that I've learned within the last few years, it's like I would have screwed up really bad. Like, it would have been bad for me, personally speaking. Like, I was at the age of 20, 21, I was not in a place where I could say, like, I'm ready to take on life with someone else. Right. Like, hold on. Like, you have a lot to learn yourself. Yeah. So coming to that realization and being like, no, like, just because it's not okay for me, like, doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people. Because, like, my parents got married very young. Like, it happens. You just have to figure out if that's something that you're ready for or if it's like what's your reason behind wanting to get married younger?
Well, I feel like it's so hard because you have people like Josh and Shreyan who did get married young and they have a beautiful marriage, but I feel like genuinely this is actually statistics. Men their brain does not develop until they're 25. Yeah. And I feel like with today's culture, today's society, like there's hookup culture and there's all these things that like push men specifically and women too, push men and women back in their age. And so I feel like it's so hard to find like a man who is like actually man, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Most 19 and 20-year-olds that I know, I'm just being straight up, are not very manly and like acting like mature, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like for me it's just like I just don't. I told myself I'm not going to date a guy until unless they're 25. But you know. She's like,
I want
a fully developed brain. I get that though.
But it works both ways though. I've seen guys that are like older than me, a lot older than they're just like, I'm like, bro, where's your mindset? Yeah. Like you act like a kid. Yeah, but it's. I mean, it goes both ways. I would say for me, I really don't mind it, but in my mindset, like I have all these goals that I want to do. So like, if I just get all that stuff out the way, then I'm just like able to focus on that rather than like getting caught up in that. And I'm like, man, by the time I look up, I'm 30 years old and I'm not even, like dating or whatever. Like for me, it's like, I don't mind it. I'm really family oriented. Like I want to have a family. Yeah. So doing that, like, I don't mind it. Yeah. So I can just be focused on ministry.
I agree.
At what point were you like, I'm ready to get married? Like how do you?
Yeah, how do you get there?
When Sharon gave me an ultimatum. No, I'm I'm just kidding. No, I agree. I agree with every bit of what you guys said. I would encourage people to wait. It's a lifetime decision that you can't. It's like
right.
top decisions in your life. Do you want to follow Jesus? Are you baptized? Do you want to get the Holy Ghost? Under that is who are you married?
Yep.
Like that's how high this is, but it depends, man. Like there's a thing, it's like when you know, and I hated that when I was younger, and I just knew, like, Sharon, I just want to, but it was not just feelings though. It was not based on feelings, and I felt like we dated for 2 years, so like it wasn't quick. I didn't feel like our dating was quick, and then we were engaged for another 7 months, I think. So it was I wouldn't say our relationship was really quick. So to some people it may, but I'd rather err on waiting than too rushed. And our situations is different because we were at a place where she was like she had already started her career. I had as well, like what I wanted to do. So it was like in our situation, it was a little different because we were like, okay, I know what I'm doing. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I know where I want to go.
Right.
I know where God is calling me to lead my family to. And I didn't have a kid at the time. I didn't have a wife at the time, but I felt like God gave me a direction and God gave me a vision to where it's like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, God. Like I want to follow it. I want to follow your lead. So were we ready? I don't know. I'll never know. And were we young? Yes, we were 21. Actually, I don't even know. I think we were 21 and 22. But and yeah.
I can't imagine getting married at 20. That's 3 years from now. Jesus, that's so weird to think.
A lot can happen in 3 years though. Or even a year, like
a lot can happen. Yeah. You never know.
I'm not getting married before I'm not getting married. I'm not gonna put this out publicly.
What if God has other plans? So you can't tell God what you want.
God would literally have to write it on a wall, like Stranger Things type. Like I'm telling you, writing on the
Thunder,
wall.
lightning, all of it.
Yes, for real.
No, but I think everyone's different. But here's my thing is rule of thumb: wait.
Yeah.
Don't rush into anything. If it's a God thing and you are for sure it's a God thing and
you won't have to rush it.
You won't have to rush it.
Yeah.
You won't have to rush it.
And
it'll just fit. It'll be good. It'll be at its time. It won't feel rushed. You just know, like
peace.
It'll be peace. Your parents are on board. Their parents are on board. Your pastors are on board. Your community's on board. Like it just when you do things right, there's nothing to compare that to.
Yeah.
Like when you do time-wise.
Yeah.
Like, because then you think, I'm like, man, I had some relationships in high school where it's like, I'm going to marry this person. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. I look at their social media and I'm like, thank God.
No, literally.
But I'd rather err on waiting than rushing things.
For sure. That's good.
That's different.
Okay, so I kind of want to close this episode out. I know this has been a long one, but it's really good. This is all really great advice for those in our young adults.
Yeah. And if they have better stuff, leave it in the comments. We're always able.
Yes.
Suggestions.
Actually, I was gonna open a poll on Instagram on our page to see like what topics you want to hear. But anyways, that's besides the point.
Yes.
Okay. Last thing. What are you most grateful for in this season of your life right now, or what have you learned the most about yourself right now in this season of your life?
Oh, I can go first. Can I?
Yes. Go ahead.
My favorite thing that I've learned is I am so loved. Like I am in a season where I feel loved by family, by friends, but like I have not had any kind of drama in my life has been so beautiful and I'm so thankful to just be loved. Because I think sometimes people struggle with the idea of like, no, like I'm not worthy of love. Like just let yourself be loved. Right. And that has been such a beautiful thing for me. That's awesome. To have friends and family that I can love on, but who love me. Yeah. So I like that.
I would say for me, more so like in the waiting season of just like multiple like doors opening up for my career, for my ministry, for life. Like it's just I feel like in the point that I'm in my life right now, it can go so many ways. Yeah. And like just about one decision, it could alter in so many different ways. So just trying to, stay on the path with God and just continue to listen to him and, allow him to guide me in this season, then I'll be able to figure that out. So.
Yeah.
It's something to be grateful for because you could have a lot of shut doors and all that. But Josh, what is something you're grateful for right now? Or something that you've learned about yourself in this past year? Or?
Something I'm grateful for is like our community, our church. Like kind of to what Leslie said, my family has felt so loved by our church. Obviously, we've gone through a lot big changes in our life, and like we've felt so supported. But yeah, that, and I'm grateful for my wife. Like, as I know we were just talking about dating, but like I genuinely, honestly, like I wouldn't pick any other partner to sleep, like have late nights and early mornings and crazy schedules, and to do this with it. Like I think again, back to everyone's situation is different. Like when you find a person, you find a person, and I wouldn't pick anybody else. So I'm grateful for her patience with me, and that's what I'm grateful for.
That's awesome.
Obviously my daughter too, but that later.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I would say last thing. I'm. This is gonna sound cocky, But I'm on cloud 9 right now. Like, I graduated.
That is good. Yeah.
I have a fun summer.
You've been traveling, like just like Leslie. Yeah.
I know. So that's my thing. Is like I'm joyful in my accomplishments. Not to be cocky, but like genuinely, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
So
that's good. And you see, and here's a prime example of like what a life following Jesus can look like.
Right.
The whole point of this podcast is for young adults to realize that there's hope out there, that there's something better out there, that a life of destruction and sin could be rewarding, temporary, but a life that's focused on the eternal, a life that is focused on Jesus and on serving others could be a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Not one of us mentioned, crazy struggles. Not that we don't struggle, we struggle. Mm-hmm. But we're young adults, and our life is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if it may offend some people, but it's not because of us. We can all sit here and say, I'm not good enough for the life that I'm living.
It's true.
I am living the life that I'm living because of the grace of God.
Yeah. It's so true.
Because He's been too good to me, and because I have simply made my life available to Him.
Yeah.
Right.
Preach.
So, and I'm not trying to,
No, you good.
but
we got Pastor G up on the podcast today.
But it's a prime example of why we're doing this podcast in the first place.
Yeah,
it's telling young people there's a better life out there.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Amen.
What a great way to end this episode.
Amen.
Okay, well, thank you guys for tuning into this very long episode, but we hope you love it, and make sure you come back for next week, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all the things. We can't wait to see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Young Talk podcast, where we talk about Christ in culture. We upload a new episode every Friday, so see you next week.